god, I'm so nervous. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Okay, so today what I'm going to be doing, as you can see, I'm sitting down on the floor again. If you watch my weekly vlogs, then you know I really wanted to do a video about the camera that I'm actually using right now. Because when I was looking for a camera to start my channel with, I just could not find a very straightforward explanation of what camera to get for like a lifestyle channel, you know, because I'm doing vlogs and I'm gonna be doing sit down videos. So I just really wanted a camera that would do both. I did a lot of research and I wanted to share with you guys how I came to decide on the SONY ZV-E10. So yeah, I have a ton of notes that I've written down, and I'm going to be, because I don't want to miss anything, I don't want to leave out anything, and I want to make sure I'm telling you guys everything you need to know. So keep on watching and let's get straight into the video. In this video, I'm going to be comparing this camera to the Canon Mark II because they're the most comparable types of cameras. Okay, so a little backstory on my channel. I wanted to start a lifestyle content based channel with vlogs and also sit down videos on specific topics. So when I started my research on what camera to get, I knew I wanted a camera that could do both. I watch a lot of vlog content, so the vlogs I would watch, the ones that had the quality that I liked, I would figure out what camera they were using. I realized that a lot of the content creators that I watch were using this camera. I already knew about the Canon G7X, which is a very, very, very popular camera for vlogging, but like I said, one of my key priorities was being able to utilize my camera to do both. Like, I don't want to invest in two different cameras, especially when I'm just starting out. Eventually I do want to, you know, extend my camera portfolio and like have various different cameras, but as I'm starting out, before I want to just, you know, kind of invest in one thing that's going to do both, okay? I want to get bang for my money. So a lot of the vlogs that had the quality that I liked were using the ZV-E10 as the camera of choice. So I immediately started doing my research on that. Through my research, I found out that, yeah, this is the camera for me. The first thing that sold me was how versatile it is. If you don't know anything about this camera, it has an interchangeable factor to it, so you can change out the lens to improve the quality. So depending on what quality image you're trying to produce, you can switch out the lenses. Lenses are the key to a camera. Okay, it doesn't really matter the body camera, the type of camera you get. It does and it doesn't. Like, it's not necessarily about the type of camera you get, it's really about the lens that is on the camera. So knowing that I would be able to change out the lenses was really important for me. That's one, for its versatility. Two, it's very much investment friendly. It's a very affordable camera. I forgot exactly how much I paid for it, but I'll put the price on the screen. For the quality it provides, it's a very, very affordable camera. For the ability to change out the lenses and get higher quality content as you please, it's a very affordable camera. Okay, but don't get me wrong, the camera itself is affordable, but the lenses, baby, lenses are always going to be expensive. Like, that's one thing I learned from my research, is that it's not really the camera that's expensive, it's the lens. The lens is literally the same price and more. The same price and more. When I say most of the lenses are either the same price as the camera or more, I was shook. Like, I was so surprised. But the camera itself is very affordable, and if you buy the kit lens with the camera, it's, I think, $100 cheaper or $200 cheaper. Like, I think the lens by itself is about $300, but if you buy with the camera, it's $200 or $100. I will put the details on the screen. The kit lens that comes with the Sony is great. For a kit lens, is very good. Okay, so moving on. The next category that really sold me was the quality of the camera. Okay, this camera can shoot in 4K, oversampled 4K, and that's something the Canon M50 Mark II didn't do. If you want to do 4K, it like crops you in, whereas the Sony, like, you could still get a wider angle. Like, if I was doing the Canon, it would probably be more like this, right? But for the Sony, you can kind of have this wide angle view and still shoot in 4K without any adjustments to your footage. You can shoot in 4K, you can transfer the footage in 4K, you can post the footage in 4K. It's an amazing camera for low light purposes. Sony cameras are known for their low light capabilities, but this camera for sure has amazing low light, which is very important if you're somebody who films in low light. Like if you have terrible lighting in your house like me, I have horrible lighting. So it definitely comes in handy during those times. I can literally like adjust the light to whatever, like to make it look like there's light in the room when there's no light in the room. Like they're not lying about that. They definitely are not lying about that. And I've seen it in real life. I've seen a Canon camera in action and my camera in action, and usually my camera definitely produces more light. And that's also another thing with the Canon M50 Mark II. It doesn't produce as much light in the dark. So that's for the quality. Some more pros with this camera is it's unlimited shoot time. Basically, you can shoot for as long as you want. You can continuously shoot a video without having to stop, which is not the case for the Canon because it puts a 30-minute cap. Now, if you're shooting sit-down videos, that's going to be problematic because you have to constantly make sure you're recording. If your recording has stopped, you have to restart the recording. For vlog, unless you're vlogging 30-minute clips at once in one sitting, I don't know if it's really important, but it's definitely another aspect. And also, it has a record button on the back. So if you're shooting, you don't have to worry about checking to make sure you're still recording. You can see the light on the camera that you're still recording. So that's another plus for this camera. Another perk or perks for this camera are like different features that it provides. So it has a background defocus. There's a button that you can click directly on the camera to defocus the background if you so please. Like if you're recording and you don't want your background showing, you can click that button and it blurs it out. Also, there's a product showcase feature on here, which is basically where you can hold a product up to this camera and it focuses on the product immediately. It also has eye tracing or eye tracking feature to keep you in focus at all times. Another perk of this camera is once you know how to use it, it's very easy to use. It's not like rocket science. Clearly, because I learned it so quickly. Like I learned this camera so quickly. Once you know your way through the menu and like what you're looking for, it's not hard to figure out from then on. You immediately get it. There are shortcuts on the camera, so you don't have to go through the menu button every time. Like there's a shortcut on the camera with the buttons that you can utilize to quickly get to places. Like for example, lighting is a big part of filming, right? So there's a quick button to quickly change out the lighting as you're recording, as you're flipping the camera back and forth to like change the lighting to make it match your surrounding. So once you learn the shortcuts and the way around the camera and you know what you're looking for, you definitely have to kind of learn what you're looking for, especially if you've never used the camera before like me. I definitely had to learn what an isolation was or what an aperture was or like stuff like that. You have to like learn. But once you learn how to utilize those features and what you're looking for, it's very easy to work. It's very easy to work this camera and get a great quality image out of it. And finally, another perk is the fact that your camera comes with a audio input. Apparently that is not the case for all cameras. Honestly, I don't think the audio is the best on this camera. Like it's definitely better. If you compare it to the Canon, I would say it's definitely better than the Canon without an input. But I do plan on upgrading the audio for sure. I posted my first vlog, and that was my #1 complaint, was how terrible the audio was, how low it was. That's partially my fault because I made some adjustments in the camera and made the audio too low, so then I could only make it anyways. I had a little struggle trying to figure out the audio, but I think I have it together now. But while it is great that they provide that built-in microphone, I don't know. I don't think it's the best, like, to be honest. So I think that's something to definitely consider. That's definitely a con, I would say. But yeah, that wraps it up for the perks of this camera. Now I'm gonna touch on some cons, because obviously this camera is not perfect, especially for the affordability, which brings me to my first point, is the build of the camera. Most cameras are built out of like metal, like very sturdy material. This camera is not. It's straight plastic. Like it's straight plastic. Like it's not the best material utilized, but obviously that was a form of cutting costs to make the camera as affordable as it is and still provide the quality that it provides. That is an area that you lose out on. Also, like I was saying earlier, while they do have a built-in microphone, the audio is not like the best. From my research, audio seems to be the second most important thing from image. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider. In my opinion, it's always in your best interest to upgrade an audio past what the camera provides. I don't think it's a deal breaker for the camera, because regardless of what camera you get, it's probably necessary for you to input better audio. The third con, that seems to be the generalized con, is the fact that it's very shaky. It's not stable. The kit lens that comes with the camera has a terrible frame rate. When you're moving around a lot, it's not like a smooth transition. This is a problem with vlogs. So if you're vlogging and you're like turning the camera to look at something, or you're turning it back on you, there's a lag in the frame rate. That's definitely a con, but you can solve that if it's really important to you. Like there are ways to solve that. You can use a dongle. What is that? A gimbal. But you know, we're not making
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Anybody talking to her? Anyways, it's forgiven when it comes to vlogs, because a vlog is very much transparent and natural, and like it's not anything crazy. Like we're not over here producing movies. But certainly if that's what you're going for, if you're going for like a Casey Neistat type vlog, then yeah, you'll definitely need a gimbal. But if you're just like filming your life like me, then I feel like it's very forgiving and it's not a big deal. The other con is that it's mirrorless. This is more applies if you're trying to take pictures, which you can take pictures with this camera. That's another pro, is that you can take pictures with it, but you won't have the hole, you know, when you can look in a hole and like take a picture. It doesn't have that. It just has the screen. And then finally, the last con is that it's not touchscreen. This is very annoying, because when you're going through the menu and like you're switching settings, because if you're somebody that's going to be using this camera between vlogs and sit-down videos, then this is very important, because there are different settings that the camera should be on when you're filming a vlog versus when you're just doing a sit-down video. For example, lighting doesn't change when you're doing a sit-down video. The lighting kind of stays the same throughout the whole video. Also, the framing doesn't change when you're doing a sit-down video. It's just like annoying to have to like scroll and use buttons when you can, if it was touchscreen, you could, you know. It is touchscreen when you want to focus though. Like it's not touchscreen for anything else but focus. Yeah, that's my list of cons. So that wraps it up for me and my thought process when I was purchasing this camera. I hope I was able to provide you with some guidance, some knowledge, some information on, you know, the SONY ZV-E10. If you decide to go with this camera, please let me know down below. If I missed anything, let me know down below, because you know, I don't know it all. It's like that. I do. I'm just kidding. To see more content videos from me, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.